When you do get some free time, is there any one thing that you just love to do?
A mí ponme el mismo quinteto de... Rino, dime, pues tú no viste que yo escribí.
You know, everybody's got, the cameras are so good on the phones now, it's almost like, why do you even take out the gear? But I do have a camera that has 3 or 4 different lenses. When I can sit out there and I can wait.
The 2K Sports pregame show.
NBA regular season opener for a couple of teams. Thank you all for tuning in. So happy you're here. I'm ecstatic that you're here.
And I miss you too, Ernie.
And I'm really happy that Kenny and Shaq are here, too.
I miss you too, Ernie.
Thank you. Me too.
Sports welcomes you to the following presentation of the NBA.
The sold-out Amway Center. This is Kevin Harlan alongside Clark Kellogg and Greg Anthony. DA will join us tonight on the sideline. Here in Orlando, it's interconference basketball as the Magic look to defend home court at the Amway Center. Here's the starting group for Houston. Abdul-Jabbar is out there with Aminu. Then it's Curry. Then there's Devin Booker. And it's West in at the 2. And kind of rare, a battle of the pivot men tonight, Clark. What are some of the traditional things a center you think can still do to help his team win in this era of basketball?
Well, I think there are a number of things. One, you think about taking up space at both ends, being a rim protector defensively, and also quarterbacking the defense from behind the perimeter defenders is one way. And then on the offensive end, banging that glass, setting solid screens, again, using size to take up space and put pressure on the defense.
There'll always be room for the big man in this game, though, don't you think?
Oh, I don't think there's any question about it. His role changes, what all he does changes, but some of the basics never go out of style.
And don't let the lean physique fool you. Kareem with the strength to finish through contact as well as anybody who's ever played.
And he'll be shooting his first free throw of the game here.
One shot.
And that one misses.
Well, you know, one of the things about Mike D'Antoni is that he's an excellent offensive mind, but he gives his players so much confidence. His defensive reputation is not as strong, but with the Rockets last season, they actually were a lockdown team at times. D'Antoni answering those critics about not being a defensive-minded coach.
There isn't a shot Steph Curry doesn't have a feel for. Floaters, runners, whatever. The tougher, the better.
Booker left side. Over Serbiak. Will not go. This is off the front iron. 1:44 left here in the opening quarter. It's stolen by Aminu. Here's Booker. He's coming off a 16-point game against Cleveland.
And it was not a one-man show. That was the best part. He had just as good a game with his passing as he did with his scoring.
Now here's Murray. Devin Booker missing his last shot. Takes the 13-footer. Murray, good.
One of the things Murray does well is shoot the mid-range shot. He's actually deadly from there. Can't give him that kind of room.
Booker the pass to West. And 1:01 left to play in the first quarter. And it's out of bounds. Nice touch by Curry.
Taking a look here at the numbers for Curry. Great showing for him last season. First in free throw percentage. And with that effortless stroke, he climbed all the way to the top 15 in three-point percentage.
And as you said, the league's best free throw shooter last season. What a tremendous asset, especially in clutch situations. Now here's Murray. Jerry West unable to get his shot to go. Here's Robinson, and again it's Orlando converted.
Yeah, I like the interior game of Robinson. He really does a nice job with getting deep position and then
going to work. Here's West. Up and in on the layup.
Yeah, good awareness there. He sees an opening and doesn't hesitate.
Boy, it's a thing of beauty watching him attack the defense like that. I mean, they wanted no part of him on that layup.
Murray kicks to Love. 20 seconds left here in the first quarter. And 2 free throws coming up, unable to get that one to go with all the contact. They get Stephen Curry.
Yeah, you all may have heard this before, but I can't resist this fun fact about Kevin Love. His uncle was one of the founding members of the band The Beach Boys.
And he can't get the first one. Both teams deciding to change it up. He hits the second from the line. So here is West. To the paint, Porzingis with the steal. It's all tied in Orlando. And the second quarter about to get started. We'll be back in just a moment. This has been a fairly close game through the first quarter, and we'll see what happens here in the second. And from what we've seen from Orlando, what do you guys see?
Listen, early on taking the league, I just like their approach offensively.
Yeah, I like it too. They're doing a great job working the ball around, staying aggressive, and capitalizing too.
Dribble drive has never gone out of style. Still a primary weapon when you think about some of the guys who are best at that. Who comes to mind for him?
Man, there are a lot of guys that convert off the bounce at a high level. LeBron James, Kyrie Irving, one of the very best. I don't know if anybody has a handle as sweet as his. Harden is terrific off the dribble with the drive or the pull-up jump shot. Dennis Schroeder, maybe not of the ilk of those guys, but certainly a handful when he's got the ball in his hands with a live dribble.
So on the floor for Houston, we've got West. Ayton is out there with Bialis. Then there's Shabazz Napier. And it's Caruge in at the 3, the small forward. The Rockets making a switch here. Fareed is checked in. Rocket 6. Floats one up. Good on that shot. And with that, the Magic lead is cut to just 1 point on the basket from Caruge.
And you have to admire his focus. Not a good matchup for him in terms of size differential.
Yeah, and even with the defender hovering all over him, Greg, he would not be denied.
Now here's Porzingis. Still looking for his first bucket in this one. And he comes up with the deuce.
Got a little fancy with the fadeaway on that one.
You know, you look at most winning teams in this league, and there's no denying they have an identity, who they are and how they play consistently. The Rockets fall into that category, a defined style of play and pieces that fit pretty well.
And it's Ayton missing.
Oh, great effort there. That's how you defend the paint.
Exactly. Can't play it any better than that, Greg.
Count that one.
And he placed that pass out in front of him and let him just run into it in rhythm.
And Clark, talk about the Rockets' identity, their style of play.
Yeah, it's all about the analytics, quite honestly. They're looking for drives and three-point field goals. constant pressure on the defense. The long-range ball spaces the floor, and defensively they're going to try to switch and keep the ball in front and deny the same three-pointers they're looking for at their offensive end from the opposition.
And now the first timeout called here for the Magic. Some changes. Aaron Baines comes in for Mourning. And Jamal Murray in for Cooper. And then for Houston, Abdul-Jabbar's checked in for Ayton. Devin Booker comes in for Bjelica. And Stephen Curry subbed in for Napier. Now here's Booker. Passes it to Karuch. Booker finds Curry. Houston moving the ball around. Good. And a nice assist from Booker. And it's all knotted up.
And Curry certainly is clever and crafty. Trickery is part of his arsenal when he gets inside. I mean, I like seeing him do his thing close to the basket.
Smith against Curry. Outside, Porzingis. And it's Baines in the corner. Smith against Curry. Shoots the three. And it's Smith missing.
And extending the D there, putting a lot of pressure on the shooter.
You're exactly right. Patrolling the perimeter well. And didn't allow the shooter to get off a clean look. That's what you would call A+ defense.
Pretty much all of their buckets coming from inside the paint down. And this is where you milk the clock.
Yeah, that's the intelligent play here, Greg. No doubt. No reason to chuck up some garbage shot.
And there's Booker on the assist by Curry.
And Curry is so impressive. His peripheral vision is what makes him unique, in addition to his ball handling skills. He does a nice job setting up his teammates and knows how to get them the ball when they're open.
And that's it for the first half of action in what's been a very close game here. Houston on top. They storm through the end of the quarter on a 9-0 run. And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Kevin, thanks. Here with Coach Clifford. What was the biggest problem for your guys in the first?
Thank you, David. And we'll be right back after halftime to start the third quarter. See you in just a bit.
The 2K Sports Halftime Show.
Ernie Johnson here with Shaq and Kenny, and a favorite time of the year as we're happy. Houston found themselves in a close game in the first. Nothing seemed to give way on either side of the scoring column as they wrapped up the period all knotted up. The second quarter was a tight battle, but they were the slightly better team. Not by very much, however. Kenny, what do you think about the Rockets?
Well, I like that they're aggressively going to the rack. That establishes an attitude, a certain toughness. They just need to stay committed to their game plan.
Check. What do you think about Orlando?
The second half is gut check time for the defense. Allowing over 60% shooting is weak sauce. Weak barbecue sauce, weak Butterfinger sauce, weak sauce, period. The coach.
And now with the second half about to get underway.
Flying high above Lake Eola in downtown Orlando as we welcome you back to the action at the Amway Center. And as we get into this third quarter, as we've seen so far, neither team able to create much separation on the scoreboard yet. One of the buzzwords we hear all the time now, Clark, two-way player. But when you were out there, everyone had to be, it seemed to me, a two-way player.
Yeah, you know what? I think it's interesting when you see some of these terms that come into vogue. There's not much that's new under the sun in terms of the game. And clearly, two-way players were as valued in the past, even before me, as they are now. I just think it's part of the language of the game now where it's more prevalent.
We've got Murray, Kevin Love out there with Robinson. Then there's Cooper. And it's Serbiak in at the three. That's us out there for Orlando. Now here's West for three. Booker. The rebound by Kevin Love. And here is Serbia. To the middle. Love the pass to Cooper. Bielitsa, who checks in for the Rockets.
Substitution for the Rockets.
Here's Love. Gets the bucket and the foul. That's on Al-Farouq Aminu.
Boy, Love is really good at getting inside the paint, establishing position, has an excellent feel for how to score around the basket.
And so it's West with it. He brings it up for Houston. It's a one-point game. The four-game trip. And Bujuma kicks to Bielitsa. And it's Aminu in the corner. Jacks up a three. Orlando grabs the miss.
That's a look you cannot pass up. It's also one you shouldn't miss.
One of the strong points that the Orlando Magic team has is their balance.
Well, they've got a number of players, Kevin, that can go for double digits on any night. That's always nice. Good depth on this roster as well. And when you don't have an elite star or talent, these are the kind of things you look for in building your team.
6 to shoot. Murray finds Aminu. Shot to stop the run.
And there you see why Robinson is the anchor of this defense. Massive wingspan, easily allowing him to turn away shots.
Cooper the pass to Robinson. Now the dish to Murray. Love trying to break loose. Goes back up. And it's Robinson with the bucket inside. Robinson's got the lead up to 5 now for the Magic.
And there's a pattern starting to take shape here. They're working it inside and getting good shots from close range.
Well, I agree with you. 4 of their last 5 baskets have been exactly of that variety.
West against Cooper. To the paint. There's the steal.
If they increase the tempo, they got a chance at a 2-for-1.
Execution paramount. Speed it up and put the defense on their heels if you can.
And Houston calls their first time out of the game.
Well, you look back to the Orlando Magic season last year, and they had a very hot start. But then faded badly as the calendar flipped and ended second to last in the East.
Houston, a whole new... on the floor. The end of the drought. That was in Magic list. Now to just 3 on the bucket from Napier.
That's a clean look they gave him there, fellas, and he drains those.
Murray surveying the D. Now the pass to Morning. 1 second left. And that one released in time, but no good. And we just finished the 3rd quarter, and we've got a tight ball. And now we have a moment to reveal our State Farm assist of the game.
And I'm glad this was the pick because I love this pass. Such a great dish. That's what I call court vision.
Yeah, and with the accuracy to go along with that vision. He put the ball in the absolute perfect spot. That's how you orchestrate it.
And with 3 quarters behind us, we start the 4th quarter, what is still anybody's ball game. So on the floor for Houston. Evan Booker out there with Napier. Then there's Ayton. Then there's Kenneth Faried. And it's Caruch in at the 3 slot. Here's Caruch. Porzingis with the block.
And with his length, Porzingis can be very disruptive on D. Not easy to get the shot off over that huge frame.
Cooper with the bucket.
That's a shot he shouldn't be afraid to take more often.
Rockets trail by 5. Now Napier. Shot clock at 5. Got a piece of it. And here's the break. Ring shot with the bucket. Now 7-point Magic lead.
You know, an area worthy of further development for Murray is keeping teammates involved.
Timeout called the Rockets. They're behind by 7. 1:58 left to play here in the fourth. For the Rockets, Abdul-Jabbar comes in for Fareed and Napier. Okay, well, let's go down to David Aldridge for a report from the sideline.
Well, during that break, Mike D'Antoni talked to his team. He said, guys, we have got to get back in transition, run on the court and score in our early offense, and that will help our transition defense. See if they can pick up the tempo, Kevin.
Love check in for the Magic. And a switch here also for Houston. West is checked in. Here's Booker. And he gets it to go, hitting off the back of the rim.
And he has the chops for this, raising the intensity when it matters most.
Yeah, he's really calm in these situations. Simply takes his time in tight spots. You got to be patient. And he is playing to his strengths.
Here's Murray. Devin Booker picking up that last basket. Curry passes to Ayton. On the wing, Booker. From the baseline. And no good. So Orlando will take it the other way. To the paint, here's Love. And he floats in for the easy 2. Credit the assist on that one.
So impressive how quick Love gets his shot off, Kevin. I mean, even when the defense is on him, he knows how to use his size to his advantage.
Now here's Booker. Ayton in the corner. Pass to Abdul-Jabbar. It's good. Oh, and that cuts the lead to just 5.
Nobody does it better than Kareem Abdul-Jabbar in the paint. Magical. Length, size, touch. Unguardable inside.
Abdul-Jabbar against Mourning. There's 38 seconds left in the fourth. Laid in with a nice touch off the glass. Mourning's got the lead back up to 7 now for the Magic.
And at a certain point, there's just nothing more you can do.
This is it. This one's over, folks. Too little, too late.
Now here's West. Devin Booker missing his last shot. And it's West missing. Here's Cooper. Murray outside. So the Magic win it. They didn't make it easy on themselves or their fans, but in the end, everyone's satisfied.
I mean, there were some times that momentum shifted, and especially early on, but let's give this group a lot of credit for that stick-to-itiveness in terms of finishing out and executing that game plan.
And now we'll send it over to David Aldridge, who is standing by courtside. David.
Thank you, Kevin. KP, you guys got out on a break tonight. How did you get into transition so easily?
We want to play faster, and that's what we try to do whenever they miss. We try to run.
All right, David, thank you. And that'll do it for the first game of the NBA season. For Clark